Good evening and welcome to Conversations with Crystal. I am your hostess, Crystal, and this evening we are talking to one of those rare breeds, a drummer, and it's Jase Beckford, drummer for the Crybabies. Good evening, Jase. How are you going today?
G'day, Crystal, and welcome to downtown Londonderry in Sydney.
Londonderry.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good from downtown Livo.
Good old Livo. Downtown Livo, downtown Londonderry. Well done.
So it's not that far apart geographically.
No,
For
not at all.
for those listeners who are not in Sydney, because we do have some people from out of state and also overseas listening as well. So hello to all those people. And thank you for joining us. Yeah, how cool is that? So, yeah, geographically, we're not that far apart in suburbs.
Not at all. Not at all.
So, Jase, I introduced you as a rare breed. Why is it that drummers are so hard to get for a band?
You know what? I think, Crystal, we're just so spontaneous. You know, we could be in one place here and then another place there, and it's a busy lifestyle. You know, you're always keeping up the tempo in the band, so you've got to keep your life up, you know, with the tempo.
Yeah, exactly. I find that to get a good drummer that, you know, doesn't overplay or put fills in when they're not required and all of this kind of thing, and just keeps the beat nice and level so everybody knows where they are. It's really hard to do, and I've seen you play with the Crybabies.
Yes.
And you hold it down exceptionally well.
Thank you. Yes. I really enjoy playing. I love music. I love playing the drums. It's an outlet for me. You know, so it's particularly to play with the Crybabies. Being the youngest member of the band, you know, I've got to.
Are you really?
Yes, I am. Yes. I've got to keep these guys up to check and up to tempo
and on their toes.
That's correct. Yes, that's right. Yes.
Have you been with the Crybabies for very long?
It's 6 years this year, actually.
6 years. Wow.
Yeah. So
that's fantastic.
I joined these guys. 2017. So it's about 6-7 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you all get on really well. I can see that. I can see the energy between you all, and it's one of real mutual respect and brotherhood, I think.
100%. And that's what makes part of a band is, you know, you've all got to get on, be on the same page, on the same level, and communication is the key. You know, if you're not happy about something, speak up, and then, you know, the rest of the band can go, okay, yes, cool, we'll ditch that song, or we'll play that song, we'll try it. You know, and, you know, Vince, Ray, Frank, love the guys to bits. They're like my three dads. Three dads.
They are. They're all lovely guys. I intend to get to the other two directly, so...
Yeah, they're fantastic. So, yeah, I love these guys to bits, and, you know, and love travelling on the road with them. It's just fantastic. So, yeah, and outside the band, we catch up as well. We catch up for, you know, dinners and drinks and things like that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, very important.
So, Jase, I always ask every drummer that I meet, why the drums? It's the biggest and most cumbersome thing to carry around, to lug in and lug out and set up. Why?
Crystal, you know what? I ask myself that question every single time I do a gig.
Do you?
I always say to the boys, next time I come back in life, I'm going to be a singer. That way I can just bring my microphone and that's it.
Yeah.
But no, look, you know, I never regret choosing drums. I was 13 when I picked up the drums. I'm 43 now.
Yeah.
13 when I first picked up the drumsticks back in high school. Growing up, I wasn't really exposed to rock and, you know, musical instruments and things like that until I got to high school, where we we did music for a subject at high school.
Yeah.
And started off with the basic thing, the recorder and the kazoo and all that sort of stuff. And there was a drum kit in the classroom, and I asked the music teacher if I can have a go because I saw someone else have a play, and I went, "That looks pretty cool."
Yeah.
And jumped on, and the rest is history.
Yeah, so I think that's all really interesting that you were 13, So nobody in your family played music or had music going on around the house much?
Absolutely no one. Out of my mum, dad, brothers, sisters, cousins, aunties, uncles, dogs, cats, nobody played. Nobody played a musical
really
instrument.
interesting. So where did you get your inspirations from then?
So back in the day, I was kind of like into the heavy rock and a bit of heavy metal, namely so Metallica. I think that was my first earliest musical inspiration. Lars Ulrich, of course, the drummer. I just loved his energy on stage, his playing, and the music. And I just thought, you know what, I want to be like this guy one day. And I just, it's funny you say about, musical instruments. Before I had an actual drum kit, and when I was in high school, I'd actually went and saved up a pair of drumsticks, and I used to air swing in my bedroom at night time with headphones in.
Yeah,
And
that's
pretended,
real cool.
pretended I was playing. So, and that's where it all started. So, so that's where it all began from.
Right.
So.
So what did you think of Keith Moon as a drummer?
Oh, Keith, gosh, Keith who? Who's Keith Moon? I'm too young for that, Crystal.
I think everybody knows what kind of off the charts fellow he is, I guess.
Absolute king, and all the Buddy Riches and all that sort of stuff. Growing up and learning music, of course, I had to learn all sorts of type of music and genres and all that sort of stuff. And Keith Moon is just off the Richter scale. I take my hat off to him and bow down. So he's just such a great drummer. Yeah.
And sorry.
You're right.
Continue on, sweetie.
No, and there's just throughout the years, there's just so many other great drummers that have come through throughout all the years. Is what I was going to say.
Yeah, of course. So, what do you think makes a good drummer? Like, I know what I think makes a good drummer, but what do you think makes a good drummer?
Practice.
Practice.
Yeah, I think practice and patience with yourself. Through the early stages when I was doing all my paradiddles and things like that, I was just going, you know what, I just can't do this, and keep chipping away at it. Practice, rehearsal, and you know what, you enjoy it, and you just love to play, and you just don't want to put the sticks down.
Yeah, that's good. I love hearing that from a muso, that they just love their instrument so much they just want to do it all the time, and it really shows passion and commitment too.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's your thoughts on Ringo Starr as a drummer?
Ringo Starr, I'm going to cringe and say I wasn't really a Beatles fan, to be honest. Yes, we play some Beatles songs in the Crybabies.
Yeah.
I enjoy playing it, don't get me wrong, but Ringo Starr, wow, just... Yeah, and the fact that this guy's still on stage playing these days is...
it's amazing, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. The fact that these guys have been around for such a long time, well before I was born and thought of, it's just amazing. And the type of music they play and his style of playing and the speed and it's... The music he puts out even today is just second to none. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have heard it said that because he's a left-handed person and plays that way, that some of the beats or bits and bobs that he does. I don't know the technical term. It's quite hard to copy maybe because everybody is usually right-handed.
Exactly. And these guys that play left-handed are just one of a kind. You talk about earlier, it's hard to find a drummer or drummers are one of a kind, but to play left-hand, it's just, I don't know how I could physically do it. Like I've tried to play left-hand before and it just does not work. And
No.
but the beats that this guy can put out, the syncopations and the feels this guy can do left-handed is just like, wow, mind-boggling.
It is, and I think the perfect example of that is Ticket to Ride.
Yes.
Because it's not a straight beat.
Yes, exactly. We play that song in the Crybabies. So it took me quite some time to learn that song. I would probably say 75% of the songs we play when I first started with the Crybabies, I had to learn. And to be quite upfront and honest with you, some songs I didn't even know. And that includes the Beatles. Ticket to Ride, we play that. And it's I love playing it. It's a great offbeat song.
Absolutely.
With your offbeat and the harmonies as well. That all of us and the band to work on and put out. It's just got to be perfect. So, 909, one after 909.
One after 909, yeah.
That's another good one that we play. It's a real high tempo, quick song to play. Love playing the Beatles. It's fantastic. Love it.
They surely are. They're one of my favourites, that's for sure.
Yes. Very, very good, yes.
So how did you get your start? So, hang on, we spoke earlier about nobody in your family or sphere played any kind of instruments. Did they sing though?
No,
nothing musical at all.
Nothing musical at all. No, not at all.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So how did you get your start? You started playing at 13, so I can imagine that you played for a few years. Did you get into a school band or get in a band with some mates, or how did you?
So at school, I was very lucky to be picked to do musicals that the school did. So we were able to have live bands at plays and musicals and things that the school did. And of course that was amazing because it got me out of a lot of classes to do, rehearsals and practice. I've probably done I started in year 7 and left high school in year 10. So, I probably did about 6 or 7 from memory of these musicals, and it was just fantastic. It was all different types of drumming. It was just some were percussion, and some were rock, and had to learn to read drum music, which was quite interesting. So, and that's another thing that, to go back on what's essential, is to read music. It comes in handy if you want to expand your career in music and drums. But that's where I learned to play or to read rather drum music. And all throughout high school, done those. And then, of course, a bunch of mates were all musos as well. So we'd even go to school on pupil-free days and, strikes and things like that. Our music teacher allowed us to go into the classroom and lock ourselves in there and just play music all day. And
how cool is that? How cool.
It was fantastic. And, we had mates that played bass and guitar, so that was all covered. So we just go out and just rock on. It was just fantastic, yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So when did you get into your first, maybe semi-professional band or professional band where you got paid and, that kind of thing?
So back in the day, I started out, I got a gig with a Metallica tribute show.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, way back. And that was interesting. It's the guys in there were great. So I did probably a handful of shows for them. Fantastic. Loved playing music. So, of course, I idolise Lars Ulrich. And So played like him, you know, and I like to have energy up on the stage and get the crowd involved and make sure they're having a good time. And so played with them. It was only a short stint for 6 months, and you know, they had interests that I wasn't happy with, and didn't like what I was seeing, and I went, okay, see you later, I'm out of here.
See ya, bye.
That's right. And
not
then,
necessarily the direction you wanted.
no, definitely not. And definitely not. So, and then, along come the Crybabies.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's really good. You know, and I don't think that any time wasted in any band, no matter how long you're in it for, is a waste of time, because you're learning something, one, about yourself,
Absolutely.
and two, about other people, and three, about music. So it's never, ever, ever a waste of time, or, you know, to be going, oh, I wished I never did that, you know, no regret.
That's exactly right. I don't regret anything, like any decisions I made, you know, of bands that I played in. So yeah, it was all back in the day. It was all a learning curve. I was still young, you know, and I guess choosing which direction I wanted to go with drums. Do I want to continue playing this sort of music for the rest of my life? And it turned out no, because as I got older, I liked to play different genres. Got interested in, you know, different bands and different type of music. So it was definitely a good learning experience, and you know, and that continues today with the Crybabies. I just always learning. We're playing different songs, introducing new songs all the time that we rehearse.
And that's very important, I think, to keep yourself fresh.
Yes.
You know, and if you have followers, you want to keep them interested in what you're doing.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, and that's the beauty of, you know, social media and things like that. You can keep the punters up to date what you're doing and where you're going and things like that. And you know, we're pretty fortunate enough that we do have you know, a following.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
So we have we do have quite a few people that follow us around, and you know, we've had people come down from the North Coast or Canberra, up from Canberra, to come and see us at a gig.
Oh, how cool is that? That's real cool.
It's fantastic. So it gives you a bit of sense of self-pride.
Yeah. So you've mentioned doing the hard rock stuff, the Metallica and all of that kind of stuff. But what is your favourite genre of music?
Oh, gosh, Crystal, you're asking a drummer that question. Come on. Look, I'd have to say at the moment, I'm really starting to get into blues.
I love you even more, Jase.
Yeah, I'm really starting to pick that up more. And look, our guitarist Ray Laudia, which you've interviewed and spoken to,
he's a good mate. Yeah,
he's a really good person. I love Ray.
Sure is. So do I.
Such a kind-hearted man, and he's really into his blues, and you know, he plays his blues music during our set breaks and things like that. And I'll go, wow, that's a cool song, you know. And some of the songs that we play, you know, Robert Cray is probably one of my favourite at the moment to play. And you know, just the Doors at the moment is.
Love the Doors.
Yeah, I love the Doors too. That's probably my favourite band to play at the moment. We do quite a few cover songs from the Doors. And the latest one we've played is "Light My Fire," which is quite a long song.
Yep.
But
and quite iconic.
It is very, very iconic, and you know, because it's something like a 11-minute song or something like that, we're able to to shorten it down to 5 or 6 minutes. So, but yeah, look, the blues is definitely one of my favourites at the moment.
Mine too. Now, speaking on the blues. This will tell me what kind of a drummer you are. Do you know the difference between a swing and a shuffle?
Oh, my God. Are you asking me that question?
I am.
Oh, my
That's
God.
very important.
Yes, a swing, you know, a shuffle's a...
Yeah.
kind of thing, and a swing,
Boom,
is
boom,
what
boom,
plays.
boom,
Yeah,
boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, swing is what you kind of get in blues a lot as well. Yeah.
It absolutely is, and that's why I asked you.
Very cheeky, Crystal.
see
I'm
if
on to
you
you.
see if you'd done your homework.
Yes, yes. I did a bit of Googling this afternoon. I went, no, I'm only mucking around.
Now, I think we're going to leave music just for one moment
Sure.
because I seem to know that you're a volunteer firefighter.
I am. Yeah, I am.
And tell me a
Yes.
little bit about that, Jace. How long have you been doing that for?
Oh, gosh. So I'm a member of the New South Wales Rural Fire Service. I joined in 1997
Oh, wow. Yep.
and still currently a member. So I joined at a brigade in the Sutherland Shire called Heathcote.
Mm-hmm.
At the ripe old age of 17, my dad found out the night they were training one time. He said, "Come on, I'll take you up, and we'll get you involved." And this, of course, was on the back of some pretty large fires that we had in the Sutherland Shire.
Yeah, yeah.
In the Royal National Park and all behind Sutherland and things like that. So I watched these guys on TV in the news, and I just thought, you know what, I've got to get out there and do this and help.
Yeah.
I was member there for be 18 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Become a deputy captain there, and
Oh, wow.
involved in many large fires and accidents and things like that. And then once I moved out to Western Sydney here, I've become a member of Londonderry, the
Mm-hmm.
beautiful township of Londonderry. I'm now currently a senior deputy, second in charge. So
Well, that's fantastic. Good on you.
yeah, thanks.
And
Yeah,
I'm sure on behalf of everybody who has ever been in the path of a fire, thank you for your service.
no, you're very welcome. It's
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it any other way, and I just love helping out the community and doing whatever we can to serve and protect.
Yeah, make sure everybody's safe.
Yeah,
Now,
definitely.
speaking of that, and I know this is on music, but this is such an important subject as well. We have a horror fire season coming.
We do.
So, what can people best do to protect themselves and their properties?
So yeah, we're looking at similar conditions of what we had back a couple of years in 2019 and 20. When we had those very, very, very dangerous conditions, and it's looking to be very similar conditions at the moment.
Oh, really?
So if people live in bushfire prone areas, say on the back of a valley or things like that, the best thing they could do is to prepare right now, and that is getting rid of all your leaf litter in your gutters, clearing out your gutters, removing any firewood that might be stored under your house or up the side of your house, and just keeping your grass short as well. And mind you, having said that, it's not exactly, if you're living a couple of streets back off the bushfire area, there's been houses lost that are 6 or 7 or 8 streets back from bushland.
Because of embers?
Because of ember attack, yeah. So it's once a fire approaches, you get a lot of ember. It's like rain, but it's just
Wow.
little balls of fire. And then the Rural Fire Service tries to educate people to stay, whether you want to stay or go. To be quite honest, and with the experience, is that you're much safer to stay rather than leave it at the last minute, because people have accidents in their cars where they're trying to get out and escape, and there's just too much smoke and fire, and day turns into absolute darkness once a fire front hits. And
Yeah.
so the best,
Scary stuff.
it is, yeah. And look, having said that as well, once the fire front passes, stay with your house for a couple of hours, because there could be embers lodged in your roof, and which can catch fire and burn your house down, 6 or 7 hours later.
Oh, wow. And I can imagine when people are in that moment, they panic.
Absolutely. Us humans are very unique, and we can change in an instant. And the best thing is not to panic. If you're going to leave early. Don't leave it too late. So emergency services can get in. And look, to be quite honest with you, you're not gonna have a fire truck at every house in your street.
It's just not possible. There's
It's not.
so few of you guys, So I think if we can just send the message out to anybody that wants to volunteer for the Rural Fire Service,
Yeah,
now would be the time to get in and have a go.
absolutely. Yeah, always looking for members.
Yeah, awesome. And on that note, we will get back to the music.
Excellent.
And I think on a lighter note, how about you tell me a funny story from a gig that you've been at or that you've played at?
Funny story, gosh.
Because there's always a few.
Look, this one's going to involve me. So we did we did a gig at Lithgow, the nice old town of Lithgow over the Blue Mountains there, and typical Jase had one too many red wines, and and then it got to I think it was the third last song or the second last song, and fell off the back of my chair on my drum stool. Sticks and all, and yeah.
You weren't on a riser though, were you?
No, I wasn't. No.
Thank goodness for that.
I know. Yeah, it was just nice soft carpet underneath there. But
and as long as you didn't have a skirt on.
No, I certainly didn't have a skirt. No, there's something wrong there if I did.
Well, it could have been a kilt. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. That's right. We could have been playing the Irish songs, or the Scottish songs, But I just remember seeing Vince's face, halfway through a song, and I could just feel myself going, and I was like completely out of time, and I just saw Enzo's. Yeah, he turned around and looked at me with his eyes wide open, going, "Oh my God, what's going on here?" And next minute, I saw the roof.
Now, what happened? Did the chair, the seat, the drummer's seat, did it kind of let you down? Didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yes, I'm going to blame the seat.
I will
seat's
too.
fault.
How's that? It's the seat's fault.
It's not the red wine. It's the seat. Definitely the seat.
and did the punters all have a giggle, or did they go?
The place erupted in laughter. I felt like I was in a circus act. So.
Did you? No, I hope it didn't take you too long to recover.
No, it didn't actually. A good old drink of water, and we started, and away we went. Yeah. So, but
that's good.
That's something that'll be etched in my memory for a while.
I spoke to a fella not long ago, and he said he did something similar, and he fell into the drum kit, recovered himself, and then fell into the bass player, then fell off the stage.
Oh gosh, there you go. See, it's always the height. Yep.
Oh, you know what? That's one of my fears is some of the platforms that you play on is like you've got to stay centred in where you are.
Oh yeah.
Because you don't kind of want to go toppling off.
Absolutely. I remember playing at Gasparo there at Bankstown one time. We did a Are You OK?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so you had the stage, and then there was another rise up with probably it must have been at least 2 or 3 foot high. And, when I got up there, I went, wow, this is really high. I'm actually looking down on top of people. It was a bit intimidating, to be honest with you. So, it was quite high, yeah.
Do you find it easier, being the drummer, in saying what you just said, that you can kind of hide behind your drum kit a little bit?
I don't like to hide behind my kit. I'm one of those drummers that like to be seen, and... those that saw us live, I like to look like I'm engaging with the band, and also look like engaging with the punters. If I see people dancing, they're looking at me, I'll give them the eyebrow, like the eye raise, and go, yeah. And
and you talk on the microphone as well, so you are very engaging.
Yeah, I like that, and that's just the way that's evolved, coming through music, and especially being involved with the babies, it's just having the ability to also do some backup singing, some vocals, and also have a bit of a laugh while we have a bit of a break, while Enzo tunes his guitar or Ray tunes his guitar, or the boys want to change their guitars over, and so it's good fun.
Now, a question I've got, and I've wondered this for quite a while. I've seen certain posts and different things. Oh, yeah, there's a kit here, but bring your, what's that thing?
Bring your sticks.
Yeah, bring your sticks, but that other round thing. I don't know. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
your
I don't
snare
know what
drum?
it's called. Your snare. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
Bring your own snare drum. What is it about the snare drum that is so important for you guys to always want to bring your snare drum?
You know what? I'm not fussy. I'll bring my sticks, and like if we're doing a gig where everything's supplied, I'll just bring my sticks. I might bring my snare just in case. And you know what? It's because you're so used to playing that tune and that sound off that kit. And just, some drummers are really picky. They want their own gear, or, they like the sound of their own tom-toms, or and to be quite honest with you, it does take a long time to tune your snare drum, to be honest. It's not an overnight thing.
Now, that's a very interesting thing is tuning the snare drum. What does it get tuned to?
So you can actually, there's professionals out there that tune to actually keys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's getting real professional, but it's some drummers out there like a real sharp snappy, or there's drummers out there that like a real long after effect sound from the snare.
Right.
But me personally, look, so long as it sounds good, it does its job. Doesn't break during the music, like a song or a gig.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah. Have you ever had a piece of your kit fail during a show?
You know what? Touch wood and there.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. No, I haven't had anything break, or of course I've had drumsticks break. I've got a tendency to break drumsticks all the time.
Right.
And that's why I've got some backups next to me while we're playing. But yeah, thank goodness, not a drum kit like a snare or a bass drum or anything has failed on me. So yeah.
Yeah.
But having said that, I always bring a spare snare skin with me, and that just stays in the car when we're gigging. So just in case, that's right.
Yeah. Very important, I think, to have a just in case.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen some of the old drummers from, like I'm talking about big, maybe from the 50s and around that era, 60s. And I don't know who the guy's name is. It slipped my mind totally. But he's lost a stick somehow, put his hand out, someone throws him a stick and he's grabbed it.
How good's that?
How good is that?
Yeah. Gosh, that's talent. Yeah. It's always good to be prepared because anything can happen. And, you go through go through sticks quite a lot. And it looks like, after the gig, you've chopped a tree down with a chainsaw with all the shavings on the floor after you've played a gig.
I wouldn't have realised that could happen.
Yeah. So look, if you've got your hi-hat set up high, much higher than what you normally would, you would definitely chip out your drumstick a lot more. Because at that level, if it's down lower, you tend to use the tip of the drumstick a lot more. So it depends on different how people like to have their hi-hats, I guess.
Yeah. And so on that, the technique that you use personally, have you adjusted it? Because I would imagine, like banging something for a period of time, that might like hurt your shoulders, or so if you've got a hi-hats and things that are really high, would that like affect your shoulders, or no? Am I on the wrong?
No, you're on the right track there, Crystal. Absolutely. The higher the things you've got set, of course, you've got to reach further. And some drummers like to have things in really close, like the cymbals, or sit right over the top of the kit. Or some drummers like to set their cymbals up high, and that's cool. That's what they're used to. But for me personally, I like to have it all set down a bit lower and level. As if you're sitting in an armchair.
Good idea.
Yeah, you have your arms out level, and and that way, there's less work on your elbows and your shoulders, of course, as you mentioned, after a gig, So, and it can get quite sore. It depends on how long your gig that you're playing, and also as well as your feet and your knees. If you're using that bass pedal a lot.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, I use a double bass pedal. Just that's what I've always liked, and it's good for fills, during songs or when you finish a song. And I also time with a hi hat kick. I time using my left foot on the hi hat all the time. Because the boys can hear it, keeps the guys in time, and B, it sounds cool. It feels cool.
Good, good. Yeah, I always wondered about that, about the height that you see certain kits at, and the reason for it. But
yeah.
That's one thing I could never. I guess it's it's a learned thing, isn't it? Where to get your foot going,
absolutely,
like consistently, and then be able to hit with the sticks.
Absolutely,
that's I've not been able to master that.
I'll teach you next time, Crystal. Come to one of our gigs and get behind the kit, love, and I'll give you a lesson.
Oh, okay, then no worries, you're on.
No, look, it does take a long time, and it took me a long time to use my left foot on the hi hat.
Yeah, right.
It's very, very difficult. But yeah, when you've got your using your right hand on the ride cymbal, during a chorus or something like that, you got that bell going on and then you just want to tap that foot, to keep it in time, and just your feet are always moving no matter where they are or what you're playing. And
it's kind of a bit of a workout then, isn't it?
It is. It's especially some of the long gigs we do, like the Cowrie. That's a 4-hour gig, and
I think the day that Rob and I went, it was kind of a bit longer than that even, and you guys just looked at each other and went, "I'm so tired."
Yeah,
I think Iz had done a long gig the night before.
We did. We played a gig the night before, and it's to back it up the next day, and especially the Cowrie. That's
it's hard.
But you know what? We absolutely love playing at the Cowrie.
Absolutely, and you smashed it out too. Everybody adores you guys. They really do.
We get a good crowd there, and all bands get a good crowd there. And it's it could either be dead quiet there, or it could be shoulder to shoulder packed. And it's the weather plays a lot of part in it as well. If it's a nice day,
absolutely,
people come down for an afternoon drink, just listen to live music, and good on the Cowrie. Hats off to those guys to have live music keep going.
Absolutely, that's it. And that was one of my questions I was going to ask you is what is the longest gig that you've done?
All right, so the longest gig is surprisingly not the Cowrie. So we play for an expo called the Diesel Dirt and Turf. It's a excavation cranes expo that started at Penrith Panthers there. And they've moved to Eastern Creek because it's gotten so bigger now out the back of the racetrack there. So that's a 3-day event for us. So we play the Friday. We basically play from 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock on the Friday. Yes. Back it up on Saturday to do the same. But actually going back to the Friday, we play 2 shows. So we do during the day, and then we actually do the corporate part for them. So they have like corporate drinks and things like that for an hour.
No red wine for you though.
No, definitely not. Yeah, so it's a bit too high, especially playing on the back of a semi-trailer truck there. So it's a little bit too high for that.
Yes, I've seen that.
And then we back it up on the Sunday. So that's a very, very long weekend for us, and very long days. But you know what? It's totally worth it. We love playing. There's people that come along and dance in front of the truck and have a good time, and that's the longest one that we've played. Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. And having people getting up and dancing, that's a real rush, isn't it?
Oh,
I love it.
It is. The thrill of it. It gives you energy as well. Like you could be feeling really tired and flat, but then you get all these people up dancing, and you just play even harder, louder, and longer.
Yeah.
You know, I just love seeing people getting up and dance and having a good time.
Yeah.
It's just so addictive
And
to see.
and enjoying themselves. It
Yeah,
really is.
that's
It
right.
really is addictive. That's exactly what it is.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and for them to enjoy the music that you're playing, it's even better. It's just
Yeah,
the
for
cherry on the
sure.
cake. Yeah.
For sure. So, is there any particular way that you prepare for a gig? So, for example, might you stretch or might you, you know, go through
Yeah,
beats and stuff, or what is the way that you prepare?
yeah. Look, when I was started first with the cry, like when I first started with the Crybabies, I'd always listen to the songs on the way to the gig. But I'd also print lyrics out, and then I'd write little notes, or add a fill here, or put there's an extra verse there and put an extra fill there. So back early stages of the start of the Crybabies, I'd do that. But nowadays, my day would be just to get up, load the car up, have a relaxing day. I might even have a little power nap in the afternoon, have a bit of a sleep. um,
You
and
can't
but
go past a nanny nap or a
no,
par
that's
nap.
right. Love power nap, nanny naps, they're great. But then on the way to the gig, I'd actually listen to some heavy music, some heavy metal.
Interesting.
Some heavy rock. It just gets me going. It just gets me
Pumped
energized, and
up.
yeah, exactly, it does. And then look, I might have a red wine or two before I start playing.
We'll leave it
um,
at one or two, eh?
yeah, no, look, look, stretches and things I don't do. I don't need to, yeah. So, but that's generally a day, before a gig, that I get prepared for. Yeah.
Yeah, oh,
So,
that's really cool.
yeah.
Now, I have another drummer I'd like to ask you about,
Mm.
Karen Carpenter.
Karen Carpenter.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, I haven't heard of her.
Oh.
Is it? Oh my dear.
So you need to
So anyway, folks, that was a
you.
great interview. Nice to know you.
Now, look, she was from I don't know, 70s maybe. She was a female drummer. Her and her brother had like a duo thing, and she played the drums.
American
But
lady.
yes, and
Yes.
she
Okay.
has the most gorgeous voice.
Yes.
But the poor thing, she didn't want to be out the front, and she ended up, having anorexia and all of that kind of thing, the
Ah,
poor love.
yes. Yes.
And so maybe you should see her drumming because she's quite good.
I definitely will.
And that's
while
the
we're talking, I've just Googled her actually, so it looks
yeah,
very interesting.
and that's the reason I asked you about
Mm,
earlier
mm.
about hiding behind the kit because that's what she did.
She did, okay.
Yeah, she
Ah,
hid there behind the kit, played away and
yeah,
sang.
yeah.
And yeah, it was only quite a lot later that she come out in front of, from behind the kit, I should say.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
So yeah,
no.
that's the reason I asked you about that because yeah, she liked to hide behind. So have a look at her. She's
I definitely will. So
very
there's,
interesting lady, and a life cut short.
oh, really? Okay, yeah. So that's, she was in a duo called the Carpenters, I believe.
That's right. That's
Ah,
right.
there you go. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they
I'll
got
definitely,
a lot of beautiful songs.
yeah, okay. I'll definitely listen to her. Definitely, yes.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Then you can come back and say, so what about Karen Carpenter? Then I can tell you her life story, no problem.
Oh, this isn't getting cut out. It's too good.
No, yeah, of course.
All right. So, what do you think is the best live act you've ever seen? Whether that be Australian, American, or whatever.
Best live act.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I went and saw Kiss back in 2016, I think it was,
Oh,
way back
cool.
then.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was bloody tastic.
Yep.
It was a show. It was a fireworks extravaganza. The lighting and the music and the sound that time was just fantastic. So that's definitely in my memory. And I'm going to have to say Keith Urban as well. I've seen Keith Urban live at the new Rudy Hill. Is it the Q or HQ or something there?
Not Colosseum? Is that
The
could that be
Coliseum,
it?
the new one they built there. Yeah,
Yes,
so
yes, that'd be it.
yeah, a couple of years ago, I went and saw Keith Urban there, and the acoustics in there was just fantastic.
Yeah.
The sound was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, he's quite a performer,
Oh,
I think, Keith Urban.
brilliant live, and like
Yeah, really brilliant.
he rocks. Like he really, really rocks. Yeah, when he's live.
Did you know that he got one of his start with Slim Dusty?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. I do. Yeah, I do remember that. Yes. Yes.
yeah, when I first discovered that some time ago,
Mm.
he was this like blonde, long-haired kid.
Mm. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think he
Yeah.
went on like Pot of Gold or one of those kind of shows
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
they kind of tore him to shreds, and now look at him, eh?
Now look at him, yeah. And the Crybabies do. We play Jeans. That's one of the real early songs that Keith Urban did.
Oh,
Blue
really?
Jeans, yeah. It's a
Blue
song
Jeans,
called
is that what it's called?
Blue Jeans, yeah.
I must
And
look that up.
that's a real cool, catchy song. And we're also working on some other Keith Urban songs in rehearsals at the moment. So
Oh, that's cool.
looking forward to play them live.
Yeah. Now, isn't Kiss due out here shortly? Or
They've been and gone.
I've been and gone.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
I believe they played at the AFL Grand Final a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, did they see? I'm not into footy.
There we go. Yeah, no. So they've played their final tour, I believe it is. Their final last ever shows, and they've just left Australia, I believe.
Last ever show till next time.
Yeah, that's right. That's what they said back in 2016
And
when I went and saw 'em.
16. Yeah, look, I remember that in 2016 they showed it on the news. Everybody lined up and, and it was just, people with a common love.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic. And obviously you were one of those people.
Absolutely, it was definitely a show that I'll never forget. It was just fantastic. Like not only the music, but the light show and the fireworks is just fantastic.
Oh yeah, it really
Loved
is
it.
like a proper show.
Yeah, it is
a proper
definitely.
show.
Yes.
So now we all know you played drums, and in school you picked up the recorder. So I've got to bring a recorder next time, and I want you to bang out Three Blind Mice for me.
No problems at all.
But is there any other instrument that you can play?
Look, I could play a little bit of bass line. I've picked up Frankie's bass a couple of times, but mainly back in school. Again, the way I learned to play is I watched people.
Right.
And that's how I learned to play the drums as well. I saw somebody play and I went, cool, that looks mad. I'm gonna try that. So, but then I saw people pick up the guitar. I went, okay, cool. And then I played a little bit of guitar back at school.
Nice.
But you know what? I'd love to pick up another instrument and play. I would probably say the bass guitar would be my first choice.
Right. Bass guitarists are like rare as hen's teeth too, so you can go for that.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
So, yeah, that's really cool. Now, are you like other drummers that I've heard say, I've just bought this new kit? So my question is, how many kits do you have?
So I only have two kits. One's electric that I've got in my spare room. I'll probably use that just to learn songs. If Enzo's put out a couple of songs to say, righto, boys, let's learn these. So I'll use the electric kit. And then I've just got the acoustic that I use to gig with. I've had the current one for probably 4 years now, 5 years.
Right.
And of course, like I've just recently I've upgraded some brand new cymbal kit for it, cymbal pack. I bought a set of Zildjians, some nice Zildjians there. So I'm always upgrading things, hardware and things like that. But you know what? If it's not broken, I'm not going to try and fix it.
No.
Yeah. And it's putting out a good sound at the moment, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah, that's right. Have you ever had anything reskinned, like the drums, the big bass drum, or the
I have,
other bits and bobs that you've got there?
Yeah, I have. So I've having the kit I've got now. It had some Remo skins on it. Remo's nice, but I prefer Evans. There's a brand called Evans.
Right.
So I reskinned all my toms and bass drums with Evans skins.
And it gives
for
you
about
a
2 years now.
nicer tone,
Beautiful tone.
or the tone that
and
you prefer.
yeah, that's right. And the bass drums really unique. I find that quite important. I like a real deep, sharp, heavy
Yes, yeah.
bass. And that's what that skin gave me. So I'm really happy with it.
I like that. I like that.
Mm,
Have you ever been to jams or anything like that and just like
yeah,
jumped
yeah,
behind the drums and
yeah,
played
yeah.
something you don't necessarily know?
Absolutely. Being mates with Enzo, Frank, and Ray, we're always getting invited to little jams and at factories or people's backyards and things like that. And
Yeah.
I've jumped behind the kit and someone would go, all right, let's play this song, and I'll go, what? What's that? Never heard of it. Play the tune. No, haven't heard of it. And then somehow I just wing it and it sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I like that you have that ability.
yeah. So I can adapt to any sort of jams or I've filled in with other bands as well time to time.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's AJ. I think you've
Yeah.
interviewed, spoke to him the other week, and he's had us over and had a couple of jams with him. So and it's also cool because I've got Ray, Frank, and Enzo that I play with, but it's also nice to play with other musicians. Because obviously, every musician's different. They play differently, and it's good to have that sort of variety and muck around with, and it's cool.
That's what I think too. Is every musical thing can be a learning curve, and you can always get something from it.
100%, yeah, and you learn different songs, of course, and then you go, wow, that's pretty cool, and then you try and influence that in your set list. Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So, what's coming up for you in the next, 6 or 12 months' time? Do you guys have lots of plans? Lots of gigs booked?
Yeah, look, we do. We've got a lot of. We haven't got many free weekends coming up for the end of the year. Pretty much between now and Christmas is pretty booked for us. It's we took the opportunity to take bookings, and we did.
Perfect. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, we just played at the Crybabies Hotel on Saturday night. So we've got a break this week, but still we rehearse every week. We've got a couple of private gigs coming up.
Nice.
And then some more country regional gigs coming up as well. We're pretty busy between now and Christmas, and what we're finding is a lot of venues are holding off to book the first half of their year until next couple of weeks kind of thing. So I'm
finding that too.
Yeah. So, but no, very busy for us. We're looking at also to do a bit of recording in the studio as well.
Well, that was my next question.
Oh, there you go.
Very perceptive of you.
Yes. So recording, just still our cover songs that we do.
Right.
Just to see what we sound like. And
yeah,
something to listen to and put out there on social media.
Yeah, and I think that is also very important too, and I don't believe enough musicians do it, is record themselves. Do a proper recording session and record themselves, because
exactly.
How do you know that what you're putting out to your punters, to your people, sounds good.
Sounds good, exactly, yeah.
You really have to listen to yourself, as hard as it can be to do.
Exactly.
It's really important.
And that could work in our favour as well. Like for me personally, I could go, oh, okay, I don't like that beat I'm doing there, or that fill I do there, or
absolutely.
You could try and enhance it and make it sound a little bit better. So that's one of the things we're looking at to do, is just to do a bit of a professional recording at some stage, and put it out there and see how we go.
Well, I'm sure everybody's going to love that. And where can people catch up with you guys? So you guys have a Facebook page?
We do have a Facebook page. Look, we're not all of us aren't really tech savvy, so we don't have YouTube or anything like that. We just basically we've got our Facebook page, the Crybabies,
Yep.
and we put all our upcoming gigs on there. So hit that like button, the Crybabies, give us a follow, and it'd be good to see some punters out there, some new faces out there for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Jase, I think that you're quite the man. Good
Thanks,
on you
Crystal.
for all that you're doing, especially with not just the Crybabies, but with your rural fire service work as well.
Thank you.
I know it's very much appreciated. So I say to everybody, get down and see a Crybabies gig because they are one fantastic band.
Thanks
And
very
I
much.
love yous.
Thank you.
I love
Yeah.
yous all. You're great.
Thank you.
All right, then. Well, thank you so much for joining us here
You're
this
very welcome.
evening,
Thank you so much for
Jase.
having us.
Oh, not a problem at all. Catch up with you around the traps.
Righto, Crystal. Take care. See you later, everybody.
Thank you. Goodbye. And that was Jase Beckford. You have been listening to Conversations with Crystal, and I'm your hostess, Crystal. And until next week, when I bring you another fabulous guest, please stay safe, stay happy, stay cool, stay awesome, and most importantly, please stay tuned to this channel. Good night.